Jonathan Wachtel is the former Director of Communications for the U.S. mission to the United Nations. I asked him about what this time of year is like for someone working at the General Assembly.
It's mind-boggling, so many different moving pieces. You know, we all talk about how the Earth is small, which is true, but when you have all these world leaders coming in with their own agendas, it becomes such a whirlwind of different activity, different thoughts, different concerns, different conflicts, different issues. It's exhausting. And then the building is filled with all sorts of visitors who are participating in every sort of forum, from health to climate change, to technology, to trying to work out a pairing of businesses with the United Nations to try to improve and streamline things, the Sustainable Development Goals. So it becomes this massive, massive festival-like setting with everybody thinking they're all very serious and the most important person in the world, when the fact is, it's just a lot of people who are very important in the world.
In the past, we've seen high drama, either in the form of fiery speeches or other things happening on the sidelines. What are you expecting this year?
This year promises to be quite interesting. You have the President of the United States coming in here, deeply unpopular for some of his decisions, certainly vis-a-vis trade agreements, climate change, actual funding of the UN, a whole array of issues. And he'll be front and center, of course, and he'll be giving his big speech at the podium in the General Assembly Hall, but also he's chairing a Security Council meeting on Iran. And that, of course, has brought up a lot of controversy, certainly among some of the heavyweight members of the Security Council, like Russia and China, that don't like to see a particular country isolated and picked on in the Council.
Actually, that was going to be my second question about that, because even allies, France still wants to do a deal, keep in the deal with Iran. How do you see that all playing out?
That's the million-dollar question, Mike. It's a very good question. Really, what we all have to see is not what happens in the Security Council vis-a-vis Iran, which really, by and large, it's going to be a repeat of the positions that everybody has espoused over the course of the last months since the United States pulled out of the deal. Really, what we got to look at is November, when the U.S. sanctions, the next round, kick in. And then that gets really interesting, because then you have European companies that are going to be scrutinized because they'll be in contravention of U.S. law.
So besides Trump, who will you be keeping your eye on? I mean, who are some of the important figures that we should be watching?
In terms of the dynamics of this particular UN General Assembly and the issues in front of us, I'd pay very close attention to President Rouhani from Iran, what he's going to do. Is he, in fact, going to sit at the Security Council right nearby President Trump, as President Trump chairs that meeting, to try to lash out at Iran for every ill, from supporting terrorism to meddling in conflicts to pursuing nuclear weapons to ballistic missile research to other machinations that are causing conflict in the world? Is Rouhani going to push back? It's important to watch President Erdogan of Turkey. What will he say? Deeply unpopular internationally for the policies that he's imposed after the attempted coup, in which journalists and businessmen and political leaders and activists are imprisoned. And then you have to pay attention to what is affecting China and the United States and other countries, the trade disputes that are going on, what various leaders representing countries that are negotiating with the United States on trade agreements, what are they going to say? Very interesting times.